What's going on, soul siblings? This is yours truly, the James Cardoza, owner, operator, creator of Fitzpatrick's, aka Ambassador of Light. Back at it again, doing what I do, man. Enjoying life, living life, reading the Bible, reading the Daily Stoic. So earlier I did a video on Instagram. Turns out, if you don't have 1,000 followers, you can now do a live video on Instagram. So if you're out there listening to my videos and you have an Instagram, please look up Fitzpatrick's and James Cardoza, the Doza, and follow me so I can do live videos on Instagram. My goal is to do live videos in the morning before I do what I do from Proverbs. Right now, what I'm doing is reading from Luke 12:1 through 12:21, but instead of just reading through all the passages or all the verses, I'm going to be reading 12:16 through 21. Now, I got a study Bible, so it does detail what I'm reading at the bottom. And if you haven't watched my videos yet, welcome. If you have already watched my videos, then you know why I'm doing this. Because I believe when you change something, everything changes. I can't say what's going to change. Maybe the only thing that changes from this process of me digging into God's Word, seeking wisdom, maybe I change as a person. Maybe the things around me can't change, but I can change in the way I respond to the things around me. A little more patient, a little slower to anger, a little quicker. You know, I pray for grace all the time. I'm always praying, God, give me grace. God, where's that grace at? Well, that grace is also how I respond to others, right? If someone yells at you or curses at you or does something, how quick are you to judge them? We don't know their past story previous to what just happened, right? Are we going to be judged by the same rule that we judge others by? Who am I, man? You know, how many sins have I committed today? And how would I want God to treat me? Well, how did I treat others? I often wonder to myself, once I reach this level of just inner peace, will I ever talk again? Or will I just be so slow to speak that everything's just a digestible interaction? Hey, there's that guy who never talks, always smiling. But here we go. Luke 12:16 through 21. I'll read 14 first. 14 and 15 first. Friend, who made me a judge? Jesus replied, Friend, who made me a judge over you to decide such things as that? Then he said, Beware, guard against every kind of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own. Then he told them a story. A rich man had a fertile farm that produced fine crops. He said to himself, What should I do? I don't have room for all my crops. Then he said, I know, I'll tear down my barns and build bigger ones. Then I'll have room enough to store all my wheat and other goods. And I'll sit back and say to myself, My friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy. Eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, You fool. You will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for? Yes, a person is a fool who store up earthly wealth, but not have rich relationship with God. The rich man in Jesus' story died before he could begin to use what he was stored in his barns. Planning retirement, preparing for life before death, is wise, but neglecting life after death is disastrous. If you accumulate wealth only to enrich yourself with no concern for helping others, you will enter eternity empty-handed. Now, I've heard someone say one time, you don't have to own anything to have access to everything. The president doesn't necessarily make the most money, but he has more access than the richest man in the world. At the end of the day, what are we really doing? What creates value is what service we can provide for others. So, one of the things that I'm working on is every day that I get up, when I read my Proverbs, try to understand the wisdom being instilled, but also question, how can I increase my value to God's children? What can I do to be of more value to the world around me? Not through my resources that I have, but through what contribution or what thinking or anything. What can be done? What can be done? Where are we? What are we? Question everything. What can I do? And then do the best you can with what you got. So, August 5th, silence is strength. I love it. I was just talking earlier about what happens when I become so wise that I don't talk anymore. When you realize that everything you say is just to, at some level, justify your pride. Silence is a lesson learned from the many sufferings of life. Recall the last time you said a really bone-headed thing. Something that came back to bite you. Why did you say it? Chances are you didn't need to, but you thought doing so would make you look smart or cool or part of the group. The more you say, Robert Greene has written, the more likely you are to say something foolish. To that we add, the more you say, the more likely you are to blow past opportunities, ignore feedback, and cause yourself suffering. The inexperienced and fearful talk to reassure themselves, the ability to listen, to deliberately keep out of a conversation, and subsist without it's validated is rare. Silence is a way to build strength and self-sufficiency. So I'd say this, guys. In the process of working, staying committed towards a common task, so what I'm looking for is, when I go to church, the Bible is our task, adhering to its rules and its virtues. But try not to wander too much. Try not to have too much spare time. Stay focused on task. Let the task be the topic of discussion, not your opinion. We'll get better, no worries. Just like I said, what happens when you become so wise that you don't talk ever again because everything can be done without discussion? I don't know. I enjoy talking, so what fun will that be? Ugh. What was I? Oh, man. All right, guys. This was a great day. And as always, take care. God bless. Remember who loves you.